Welcome to lectures. In previous lecture, we seen about the diode model, how diode equation has been derived. From that equation, how we will get the solar cell equation, solar the module equation, then how we will see the P and N junction has been formed. What is the basics of the P and N junction? What is forward bias? What is reverse bias? That and all we have seen in the last lecture. In this lecture, we will see the solar cell operation, how solar cell formed. Welcome to lecture 8. Myself Karthikeyan. So, lecture 8 course outlines are here we will see solar cells and light generated current and quantum efficiency of the solar cell. Next, what is the photovoltaic effect? What is the IV curve of the solar cell as well as solar panel? And then we will see the short circuit current, open circuit voltage, and what is the field factor, and what is the cell efficiency, what is the characteristics resistance, what is the effect of resistance to the solar cell as well as a solar panel, and what is the series resistance and shunt resistance. And next, what is the effect of temperature on the solar cell? What is the light intensity effect? That and all you will see in this lecture. So, first of all, what is the solar cell? Solar cell is an electronic device which directly converts sunlight into electricity. You can see in this image here basically it is nothing but P and N junction. Let's suppose base is a P material and this emitter may be a N material. When light is incident, P and N electron hole pair are takes place. So that time it will produce some amount of electrical energy. But for solar cell we have to do some modification because you can't get a direct contact to the P and N type. So what it required, see here base with containing P and N type, then there will be a emitter. So for emitting the light, then there will be a contact. In order to get the contact to outside where I can put some terminal, I will get the voltage through that contact. This contact for the positive terminal, then front contact, this is going for the negative terminal. And in order to remove some dust particle, and there we require some coating that is called anti-reflection coating that we have to put. This is the basic layer of the solar cell. So light shining on the solar cell that produces both current and voltage. As I earlier told that electron hole pairs will generate the voltage as well as current. When electron hole pairs are doing that, produce some amount of the potential difference that will indicate the generation of the voltage. When electrons will be moving from negative to positive, that produce the current. So there is nothing but the collection of light generated carrier that containing the generation for our current. So in nearly all the photovoltaic energy conversion uses the semiconductor material. Almost 99% of the photovoltaic device containing the P and N junction format. Now we will see the light generated current. The generation of a current in a solar is known as a light generated current. That involve two process. What and all? So when photon is incident on the P and N junction substrate, I will call it as a substrate because P is one substrate and N is another substrate. So what will form PN junction? Diode. That is a basics for the solar cell. I will tell you so many times because it is one of the basics for our solar cell design. So when photon will be incident, it will start electron and holes pair. So it will generate the solar cell with a certain amount of photon. That photon will be like that generated photon, I can call it as a electrical energy. So that energy is much greater than the band gap. So first we will see, first photon is incident from the solar sunlight. Okay, that will incident to solar cell. In solar cell, the recombination of the electron hole pairs are takes place. During this action, it will emit some amount of energy. That energy is greater than the band gap. That is the energy gap between the valence band and conduction band. So collection of these carriers by p and n junction prevent this recombination by using p-n junction specially to separate electron and holes. So what will happen when you providing some photons or some potential difference to the this solar cell, it will form electrons and holes pairs that will lead to generation of the electrical energy from our solar cell. So if I want to turn on any light, so you have to connect some contacts to this terminal, to front contact and red contact. Here you will put some load, that may be in light or anything. You will get some amount of energy. If you put a zero point 0.6 voltage consumption of the any LED light, it will glow because one solar cell having 0.6 voltage. Then now we will see what is the quantum efficiency, how it will benefited for solar cell. Okay, the quantum efficiency is the ratio of number of carrier collected by the solar cell to the number of photons of a given energy incident on a solar cell. See, it is nothing but a ratio. Like if more number of carrier will be collected by the solar cell, then that is leads to the incident of the photon. So you can see here, according to the different wavelength, see this blue length having lowest wavelength and red will be having highest wavelength. Due to this wavelength, according to this wavelength of light, the accumulation of the photons will be changes. So as it goes to one end to another end, the accumulation will be differ. That is in the form of higher to lower energy. So lambda is nothing but Hc by Eg because energy is nothing but Hc divided by lambda. So higher the energy means lower the wavelength. If wavelength is low, energy will be higher. So lower wavelength will be collecting higher amount of the photons. Then production of the photons also higher. So we can derive the quantum efficiency in the form of wavelength. So all the photons of a certain wavelength are absorbed by the particular amount of the carrier that will be collected some amount of the photon, that is leads to the generation of energy. So for particular wavelength we will get the particular amount of quantum efficiency. Because quantum efficiency is in the ratio format, the maximum number will be 1. We will reach here. The quantum efficiency maximum number is 1. It is started from 0 to 1. That is the gap between the photons and the carrier are collected. Now we will see photovoltaic effect. We will get to know about the solar radiation, incident of photon, solar cell, basic diode, that and all we have seen. So now we will go for the photovoltaic effect, how solar panel will generate electricity. Generally I will call it as a potential. It is nothing but potential difference between the P terminal and N terminal. So, in order to generate a power, a voltage must be generated from the solar cell. That is in the form of current and voltage. that is generated by the solar cell. It is because of incident sunlight. This is called photovoltaic effect. So light generated carrier by the p-n junction that causes the movement of electrons, that may be a n-type side and holes in the p-type side. When that recombination takes place, it will generate the power. So in the short circuit condition, what is the short circuit? If two points are shorted or connected together, that is called short circuit. In that case, there will be no buildup of the charge. And that time we will get only the open circuit voltage. At that time current will be the zero. So in this image we can see the basics of solar cell. What and all it containing? The sunlight is incidenting on the solar panel. There will be a two layer, that is p type, n type, and in between the p-n type, that is called junction. This is solar panel diagram. Now we will see IV curve of the solar cell, because if we know about the IV curve of the solar cell, that is same is implicated to the solar panel. So in this image you can see the IV curve. I will tell you what and all it depends on. First of all, it depends on the intensity of light. So in order to get the IV curve is nothing but it containing the voltage and current. That is called IV curve or IV plot of the solar cell or basic diode. By using this single diode model, we will get the IV curve of the solar cell. So we will see the IV curves. This is the diode. What is the IV curve? See, this is the basic diode IV curve. Here voltage, here current. So likewise we can get the IV curve of the solar panel or solar cell. See, what is the solar cell diagram? This is the solar cell schematic. Here I am just giving the basic schematic. I will just only include series resistance. Okay, fine. Now this is the voltage across this schematic. See, when light is incident, it having some diode current. Okay, that and all we know. So when there is no connection also, but there may be some potential difference, that is called as a voltage. Then in this circuit, our circuit is not completed. So voltage across this terminal, I can call it as a open circuit voltage, VOC. When circuit is open, see, this is one circuit with some resistance. I will just take, this is the diode. Now current is flowing. So in this schematic, we can get the potential, that is called VOC, but there is no current. If circuit is completed like this, I will get the flow of current. Okay, but here there is no voltage. So when current is zero, voltage is high. According to some that output voltage, we will see that when current is zero, voltage is high. When current is high, that is I, we will take I. When current is high, the voltage becomes zero. So like that we will get a IV curve. In this case, x-axis denoted by VOC or voltage. I can call it as a voltage. Here y is called as a current. When voltage is 0, current is high. Okay, that is completely closed circuit, so I am getting the current. When voltage starts increasing, okay, now let's consider this is 0 volt, now it is 5 volt, now 20 volt, now 36 volt, because in solar panel 60 cell module having 36 point volt, I will take up to 36 volt. When voltage is 0, current is high. When voltage is 5, it start decreasing. Okay, when it is 20, again it will start decreasing. When it is reaches to 36, it reaches to 0. So when voltage is maximum, current is 0. Okay, this is the IV curve of solar cell. So current it present in this point is called as a short circuit current. Voltage present at this when current is 0, that is called open circuit voltage. This is the first two things, VOC and ISC of the IV curve. Then we will see how power will be included in this one. Power is nothing but product of voltage and current, that we will see here. So we have seen the IV curve of the solar cell or solar module. That is the same basically. This is single diode equation. Using this equation we can get the IV curve. So then we also know about the what is the short circuit current. The circuit current is the current when the voltage across the solar cell is the 0. That is called short circuit current. Usually it will be written as IS, I already told. And we will see also the power curve. Power is nothing but voltage into current. That we can see here. This is blue line indicate the power curve. This red line indicate the IV curve. Next, we will see the open circuit voltage. What is the open circuit voltage? It is the maximum voltage available from the solar cell when the current will be is 0. When I will get the maximum current, that time I will get the maximum voltage, that time current will be 0. Okay. So how I can derive that open circuit voltage using this equation? It is nothing but interchanging the that ideal single diode equation. If I take into that consideration by modifying that ideal solar equation, I will get the VOC. Just I have to replace V with the VOC. I will get the open circuit voltage. Then we will see about the field factor. Field factor is nothing but the component of voltage, that is open circuit voltage and short circuit current. So the field factor is also written as FF, that is depend on the VOC and ISC. The formula of FF is the maximum power, that is PMP divided by product of VOC into ISC. What is PMP? That is maximum voltage and maximum current. Then I will get the maximum power. Then how I will get the efficiency of the solar cell? Basically, what is the efficiency? That is nothing but sum of the output energy is divided to the input. If I take that output from the input ratio, I will get the efficiency. What is in solar? Solar, it is nothing but ratio of power output to the power input. What is the output power? Output power is the maximum power I will get from the solar cell. How I can get Pmax? That is nothing but VOC into ISC into FF. Always we have to know about that FF is in 0 to 1. It lies between 0 to 1. Here VOC is nothing but open circuit voltage. ISC is short circuit current. Pmax is the maximum power of the solar panel or solar cell. FF is the field factor. Now we will see the characteristics of the resistance. We know that solar cell equation is nothing but I is equal to IPH minus ISAT into e to the power of V. We call it as VOC divided by VT minus 1. I can write it like this. Okay. This is basic ideal diode equation. This is applicable for the solar cell also. So what is VOC? VOC is the voltage when I will get maximum voltage, current should be 0. Okay, I will put this 0 here. Then my equation will become IP minus IS into e to the power of V. I will replace by VOC, open circuit voltage. Then this is thermal voltage minus 1. Okay, that is equal to 0. Then what I will do, I will shift this one here. Then I will get IP. While shifting this one, it is will be a product. Then I will divide by that with the IS. Then I will get IP divided by IS is equal to e to the power of VOC divided by VT minus 1. If I want to take number of cell, n cell I can take with the ideality factor. Ideality factor always lies between 0 to 1. Okay, I will shift this one here, then divide this one with this IP. Now what I will do, I will shift minus 1 to here. Then what I will get, IP divided by IS plus 1, that is equal to e to the power of VOC with the ideality factor and number of cells into thermal voltage. Then I want to remove this exponential term, so I have to multiply with the log or ln. So by multiplying ln on both sides, this will cancel. I will get ln here. Then I will write it as a ln of IP divided by IS plus 1, that is equal to only this term VOC divided by eta, that is ideality factor, into number of cell into VT, where VT is nothing but KT by Q. Okay, then finally I will get VOC is equal to eta number of cell multiplied with VT, okay, into ln of IP divided by IS plus 1. This is the final equation. Okay, if I want to change here, I can write it as a eta n cell VT is equal to KT divided by Q into ln of IP divided by IS plus 1. This is the open circuit voltage equation. Now we will see characteristic resistance. What is the characteristic resistance? It is the resistance of a solar cell is the output resistance at a maximum power point. You can see here at this maximum power point you will get the characteristics resistance. Then how we will derive this resistance? We know that because of diode equation, we have derived that resistance in terms of voltage divided by current. So here we will see the characteristic resistance, that is nothing but maximum power divided by maximum current. That is at this point here I will get the maximum resistance, that is called as a characteristics resistance at the maximum power point. Next we will see the effect of series resistance and effect of parallel resistance. Parallel resistance is nothing but shunt resistance. You will see here. So, resistive effects in the solar cell reduce the efficiency of the solar cell by some amount of power is dissipating into it. Okay. The most common parasitic resistance are the series resistance and parallel resistance. In this diagram, you can see this is series resistance and parallel resistance, and we will see the what are the effective of this resistance to the solar cell. First of all, we will take consider in the series resistance. Okay, first we will see what happened to the series resistance when there is a low resistance. You can see in this diagram, this IV curve, you can see when resistance is 1 ohm per centimeter square, I will get the normal IV curve. When series resistance starts increasing, the voltage, that is nothing but open circuit voltage, starts decreasing. So I will get sum of the deviation here. So I will get to know of the VOC of this slope is changes. When resistance is increasing, slope of the open circuit voltage also increases. Then when series resistance will be increases, our open circuit voltage will start decreasing. That will give the impact to the fill factor. So the effect of series resistance slow down my IV curve. The slope of the VOC will be changes. When it is reaches to the maximum resistance, I will get the straight line with the maximum decrease in the VOC slope and almost very much less in the short circuit current. Let's see the shunt resistance. What will happen shunt resistance? This is nothing but a reverse case. When shunt resistance will decreases, here shunt resistance is increasing means the value of resistance will be decreases. Like here there will be a shunt resistance called 1000 ohm per centimeter square, while it is increasing means value is decreases to 20 ohm per centimeter square. That time short circuit current will be started decreasing, so slope of this short circuit current will be decreases. So in this case, there will be a effect for my power losses. This series resistance and shunt resistance effect to the reducing power output from the solar cell. So when shunt resistance will happen, there will be a reduction of the amount of current flowing through the solar cell, and also it reduces some amount of the voltage from solar cell. If we put this shunt resistance in our equation, we will get to know about the how decrement in the solar cell will be happening. So how we can calculate? Let's see. We will put series resistance and shunt resistance together, and we will put this resistance value in this equation, because series resistance will be increasing and shunt resistance will be decreasing. So values will be decreasing and series resistance value is increasing. You can see in this image clearly. So when shunt resistance will be decreasing, the current also decreases. When series resistance will increasing, the slope of open circuit voltage also decreasing. Now we will see the effect of temperature. See, now we know that when some of the resistance either by shunt resistance or by series resistance, there will be only changes in the voltage or current. But when we come for the effect of temperature, the voltage starts decreasing. You can see first for 25 degrees Celsius it is giving more than 0.6 voltage. When it reaches to 45 degree it is reached to less than 0.6. When temperature reaches to 60 degree it is almost in between the zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.6 voltage. And also we can see current value is slightly increasing. So as temperature increases voltage will decreases and current will start increasingly slightly little bit. So this effect of temperature also decreases the band gap of the semiconductor, and by this one increasing the energy of the electron in the material. So lower energy is if we get that needed to break a bond. When it comes to the lower energy it is difficult to break a bond. So that will be the effect of temperature. So finally when temperature will increases band gap will be reduces. So in that case voltage will be decreasing and temperature will increases. This is basic IV curve. Okay, so as RS increases, okay, so what will happen, this voltage, see now current will be changes. At this point voltage starts decreasing. If I get series resistance further high then again it will starts decreasing. So as R is increases V's have started decreasing it towards to 0. This is effect of series resistance. What is the effect of shunt resistance? We will see here. This is the basic IV curve we will draw. Okay. When shunt resistance decreasing, like first it is 1000 ohm. When it come to 800, 500, like this, the current starts changes. You see now voltage is like this only, but current only changes. I will draw like this because we have to make voltage should be constant, but this current will changes. See, like this. Now slope of this one current is changes. So finally as increasing the series resistance voltage will be decreasing. Okay, or I can call it as a slope of voltage will decreases. When there is a decrease in the shunt resistance then that time slope of short circuit current also decreases. So now we seen the effect of series resistance. Okay, there will be changes in the resistance as increase or decrease in the series resistance or shunt resistance. That and all we have seen. Now we will see effect of light intensity or irradiation or spectral density. It is called by watt per meter square. Okay, so how this light intensity will affect to my solar cell. Okay, we will see that one. So generally if we see IV curve of any solar cell or any solar module, it is meant to be standard temperature coefficient, that is 25 degrees Celsius for 1000 watt per meter square. This is called standard temperature coefficient. Solar cell or module designed for this parameter. Okay, so this IV curve for 1000 watt per meter square with, if we consider 60 cell module with VOC is 36 volt, ISC is 8.2 ampere. This is standard for STC format for all the solar module. If you see the solar module data, you will get the all this detail. Okay. Now we will see how intensity will changes my solar IV curve. See, this is standard temperature coefficient IV curve. This is for 1000 watt per meter square. Okay. When intensity of light changes, now it is 1000. When it decreases to 800, that will give like this of curve. When again light will be changes, the intensity of curve is changes. So now it become 8, now 700 watt per meter square. When it reaches to 300 watt per meter square, it is like this. When it is reaches almost 100 meter square, we will get the very less current. So current also starts decreasing. When intensity of light changes either increase or decrease, short circuit current also decreasing. Okay, so this is the main effect of intensity of light to the solar cell. So in this figure you can see the how intensity of light will be changes. See, for first curve this is 1000 watt per meter square with they have considered for around 17 volt. It is containing more number of modules or more number of cells, and current, short circuit current is the 2.3 ampere. When intensity of light will be decreasing, current starts decreasing, but voltage also decreases, but in a small amount, not as much big as the current changes. When it reaches again, IV curve changes. So mainly light intensity will affect my short circuit current, that is in a much higher way than open circuit voltage in a slower manner. This also affect to the efficiency and fill factor of the solar cell. Okay, you can see in this image here, I will get the much more intensity. When it comes to here, the intensity of light will be decreases. So you have learned in this lecture basics of the IV curve, how IV curve we can model, how we will generate the IV curve equation, how temperature, series resistance, voltage, current will affect on the solar cell. That and all you seen in this lecture. So in next lecture we will see how we can fabricate the solar cell, what and all the coating required to form one solar cell, what is the process of making, that and all you can see in next lecture. Thank you.